There's a saying in my house, here I am wearing pants like a sucker. That was my cold intro right there.
Yeah. Is that a saying in your house, or is that an older saying from like the Shannon family house?
No, it's just my house. Me and Phyllis, we come in, we drop trout, and that's it.
Here I am wearing pants like a sucker. I think that's a Homer Simpson, isn't it?
I think it is a Homer Simpson. I think it is.
That's awesome. So everybody, let's go round robin and introduce ourselves. My name is John. I'm from RockBranded. This is my podcast, Tuesday Rehearsal. These are my two illustrious co-hosts. Dave, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm of Rabid Gorilla Records, and it's a record company that doesn't really do much. But anyway, that's what I am, and I'm here to talk about music tonight. Tony?
Cooperstone Badge, yo. West Side. Tony. Yeah. Tony Shannon, Cooperstone Badge. What's up?
Cool. Not much. So this week on Three Guys and Three Songs, we picked out 3 songs that we would defend to the death. And unfortunately, the 2 songs that Tony and Dave both picked are 2 songs that I really, really like and appreciate. So it's like, you're not going to get any kind of shit from me for either of those. Although I think my song, I expect to be, like lose a couple of teeth because of this song, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was a pretty awful song.
It's terrible.
I haven't even played it. I haven't met it yet. I'm already surrounded by enemies. Look at that. It's like, oh.
Not me.
Why don't you tell us what song it is, John?
What's that?
Now he has to go fast. Now he has to go first.
Okay. Well, my song is it's High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Now, disclaimer, I was never into Panic at the Disco, ever. I was like, I just kind of like shrugged them off as being like one of those newer emo punk bands and whatnot, kind of like Fall Out Boy. But then I think it was Melanie who kind of turned me on to him a little bit, and she was like, "Oh, Brendan Urie this, Brendan Urie that," and I heard the guy's voice. The guy's got like killer pipes. Oh, there he is. There he is right there. This is my boy. He's got killer pipes. He's got really a really good voice and whatnot. The first song I'd ever heard from them was the song that I think sounds an awful lot like Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles, which is the one like, I found it with the haven't you people ever heard of? Closing the back door.
I write sins, not tragedies.
I write sins, not tragedies.
Brendan Urie was 19 years old when they made that music video.
Okay, so he was 19 years old.
That was huge in 2005.
It was huge. It was all over the place. Like, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing it. And it used to drive me crazy because...
I went a lot of places without hearing it.
Same.
I like...
I've heard the name Panic at the Disco thousands of times, and I thought I've heard a few songs that I actually enjoyed. Not this one. But,
well, the lyrics behind the song from where we were when we first heard it.
Yeah. It was like, okay, well...
It's a very positive song. I'll give it that much.
It is, yeah, it's positively... No.
It's, well...
Almost Fruit Loops.
At the
I liked how people kept running into him.
Yeah.
But it was very much like that other video from that band back in the 90s.
Verve.
But yeah.
But he was kind of running through people in that one.
Yeah.
That was a little different. It was like
it was the opposite.
Yeah, he's in this one. He's being acted upon a little bit. But at the time I heard the song,
I hadn't seen the video.
No, I think I heard the song and saw the video at the same time. It was I'd pretty much I'd kind of quit the restaurant. My car had just gotten repossessed, and shit was really going downhill. Like I was really hitting rock bottom again, and we just had a really good weekend where a bunch of things turned around, and we realized that we don't have to rely too much on, and I can't tell if my cat is in my shot right now or what.
Oh yeah, totally.
So,
gratuitous pussy shot.
Keep moving. Here we go. We'll edit that out later. No, we won't. So, but But the song itself, it just really, really spoke to me because he's talking about having high hopes. Like I had to have high hopes for a living, didn't have a dime. I knew I'd make a killing. And it just gave me a little bit of hope that, you know, I wasn't going to get kicked out. I wasn't going to lose my business. I was still going to manage to make money somehow. And it was just very uplifting. And it became like kind of my anthem for about a week or so. And ever since then, I've had a ton of respect for the kid because he really does have a great set of great set of pipes. Like I said,
yeah, you got to see live versions of the song.
He's too young to be going through all that, though.
Yeah.
Well,
he's in his 30s.
yeah,
You have to pay your dues to play the blues, man.
well,
He's been in the music business for a long time. He plays all those instruments. He records a lot of his own beats. He's actually an incredible creator in general, and a song lyricist. Actually, I find that like.
Who picked this song? Her or you?
well,
John picked it.
Yeah,
John
picked
picked
it.
it, but I actually have always been a huge fan of Panic at the Disco. My whole life, pretty much, has been a band that's been around in my life since like I was maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
I first heard some of their first few songs, which were very light and lovely and fun, where a little girl could kind of enjoy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now they definitely have like a wide variety of sounds.
Yeah.
You know.
No, they do, and honestly, I'd heard High Hopes before and never really thought too much of it. And then it was one of those songs that it's like you hear it in the background, you know, like whatever, you don't think much of it. But when you really, really listen to it and you really, really like just give it a true listen, and if you ever try to like sing it karaoke, you realize, wow, this, you know,
I
would
couldn't.
never.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We got drunk and sang this song during karaoke once.
I actually didn't get drunk
We
enough.
fucked up.
Yeah, so
we fucked it up
fucked that
so
one
bad
up.
because
he's
he's real quick with
Yeah.
jumping on the next line of words.
He's
so it's
real
like...
quick, and he doesn't need to breathe. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
he doesn't breathe. He's not human.
He's got his breath like under control and whatnot. So
Isn't Panic at the Disco the name of a Smith song?
Yeah, I think
Panic
it
on the
is.
streets of Birmingham.
Yeah, Panic. All right, there's Panic. And there's
I love
London,
that
hang
song
the
too.
DJ.
Actually. I
Hang
did that
the
one on
DJ.
karaoke too.
Did you really?
Yeah, remember that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
We did quite a few songs in karaoke. We're quite popular at the local Chinese restaurant.
So, that reminds me, I almost got beat up at a Smiths concert once.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw
It wasn't.
Smiths?
Yeah.
Was it Dickie Barrett?
I
No, I'm
hate
sorry.
you.
No, it wasn't Dickie Barrett. It wasn't Dickie Barrett. It wasn't the Smiths. I'm sorry. It wasn't the Smiths. It was Morrissey. It was Morrissey.
same thing.
And someone like asked me to go. I was working with her at the time. And she said, "Hey, you want to go see Morrissey tonight?" I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah."
Oh,
So,
fuck yeah.
And this kid who was like a big Morrissey fan wanted to get out of the car and beat me up because I was too preppy because I was dressed for work. I was wearing a shirt and a tie and everything. He's like, he thought I didn't deserve to be there. So, you know, just,
Oh, unforgivable crime.
you know, I know, right? It's like, hey, dude, you know, I'm working for a living. Like, how do you think I got down here?
You're not supposed to work for a living.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just stay home and depressed all the time listening to Morrissey. And
Right? Yeah. And so that's my take on Panic at the Disco. You guys can have at it.
I can't believe this is the song you chose to defend to the death. I mean, seriously?
Well, I kind of I decided to defend it to the death because I knew that this would be a song that would be extremely divisive.
Yeah, that's
You know.
not great.
I don't think it's divisive at all. I think me and Dave are agreed on this, but it sucks.
It's
Two
like,
against two.
here I am. I have to like fight to the death for it. You know what I mean? It's like of all things, this is me throwing down my gauntlet here. On
I also have to point out that Melanie did a better job defending it than you did.
John
She's got-
has zero history with the band.
I really have no history with the band. I've been into the band for about 6 to 7 months right now. So, you know.
I don't have any specific critiques. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
just
much where I'm
didn't
at.
like
It didn't do anything for me.
The thing is, the first listen I had to it too, I was like, it's kind of basic. There's nothing really special about it. But then the more I started listening to it, I was like, it's like you hear these stupid little nuances that, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking for them. But it's like
Yeah,
I
John
hear
doesn't
them.
like any music that I show him at first. A lot.
Right,
A
yeah.
lot of what I show him at first, he's like, nah, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah. So
I have a weird taste.
it's tough to get into, but I don't want to be one of those old guys. I don't want to be like Dean Martin of the Stones and stuff like that. Like, oh, like, look at these long-haired freaks over here. They're going to play a song for you now.
No, I know. No, I try to keep an open mind. I try to listen to some of the newer stuff. It's not going to be this song though.
So let's talk about your tongue, Tony.
All right. Well,
A modern hit.
yeah, the Animals. All right. I want to say I'm not defending the Animals version of the song necessarily. This song is very old. All right. House of the Rising Sun goes back. I think the first version was recorded in like 1920 something or other, or maybe the 30s. And it came out of Appalachia. It's a very, very old song. There's been tons of versions of it. Pete Seeger did one. Bob Dylan did one. There's a new one by Haley Reinhart. She's doing it now. And there's a couple old like blues standard versions of it. My personal favorite version is Lead Belly. Lead Belly did a version of it, and I think it's the best version of it. But the Animals probably comes in close to third place on my list of which versions I like.
Huh.
I mean, everybody knows the song. Not many people cover it, but I'd like to see that change. I think it could be a standard American tune.
I'm not a fan. Do the words cultural appropriation mean anything?
No, not in the least bit.
Yeah.
I say steal that shit, spread it on bread and eat it, man.
Well,
I like it better than John's song.
Oh, and that kind of goes without saying.
This hurts.
I knew. Well, hey, you know
I'm
what?
sorry, Melanie.
I knew.
No, I
I
don't.
know.
I don't actually care.
She doesn't care. She's got thick skin. She's you know, she's all right. So see, I told you it's a stupid song. Now go get me some coffee. Oh my God. I told you they were gonna make fun of me. Oh my God. For me, the House of the Rising Sun, I didn't realize it was that old. I'm sure Tony has told me like how old it was, but Tony's got so much history with like music, especially blues and shit from the 20s and shit that no one's heard. That you know, I lose track.
People have heard it.
I haven't
Other
heard.
people.
Me, I haven't heard. You know? But yeah, I was never a huge fan of the blues personally. I mean, I
It's
guess
because you can't go all fanboy about it.
no. Part of it. If I had gone fanboy about it, I would have been in the Stones or the Beatles or Zeppelin or something like that. So you want to talk about cultural appropriation? I love Led Zeppelin, but holy shit, they stole from
Everything, man. Everything.
Everybody. You know?
Great artists steal.
Yeah.
Good artists borrow. Great artists steal.
But it's so blatant. It's absolutely so blatant. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard.
Well, what they did to that guy who wrote Dazed and Confused is disgusting. This poor guy writes this song, never makes a dime off it.
Yeah.
And then Led Zeppelin just, oh, by the way, here's our song, Dazed and Confused.
Really?
I mean, aside from some changing of the lyrics, it was his song. They stole it. And they did the same thing with all the old blues artists, too, but at least they kind of gave a little bit of credit in most instances.
Eventually, but artists like the Stones and the Beatles would like actually cover songs and then be like, oh, this is a cover of like a Muddy Waters song or a Howlin' Wolf song, or this is Robert Johnson recorded this, blah, blah, blah. But like Zeppelin is just like, oh, here's Misty Mountain Hop, you know, and stuff. And oh, here's Stairway to Heaven. And Stairway to Heaven, they didn't even steal that song from a blues artist. They stole it from like another rock band. So it's like, and it's exact. It's like you hear the two of them and it's like, it sounds like an instrumental track to Stairway to Heaven. It's it's bizarre. It's amazing, like how
They actually sued them about that.
good.
And I think they actually won. I mean, too late. You know, they might have gotten a couple bucks out of it.
Right.
You know,
Maybe you'd hope, but
I mean, you know, even the Beach Boys, they basically stole. What do you call it? I can't think of the name of the song that they wrote, or the one that they stole, but they stole it.
I think it's Surfing USA from Chuck Berry.
From Chuck Berry, right? Yeah.
Oh.
And he was in prison at the time. He gets out and he hears a song. He's like, "That's my freaking song!"
Right. Things change while you're in prison, Chuck. So, how do you think I was able to afford your bail? I had to sell the rights to it. I mean, seriously. So, but like, I don't mind when people do it like here and there. You know what I mean? It's like I can't tell you how many times I'm playing a riff or something like that, or I come up with something like, "This is awesome," and then it's like I hear something on the radio, and I was like, "That's my song," and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's where I heard it." You know, I didn't mean to steal it, but I did. So.
But we can all
George
agree.
Harrison said he did that with My Sweet Lord. That he didn't intend to steal it, but it was He's So Fine.
Oh, by
The same song. It's, you know, he's so fine, do lang, do lang, do lang.
Well, you
My
know,
sweet Lord, do
Yeah,
lang,
and-
do lang, do lang.
do lang.
and then James Taylor was working in Apple Studios and recording. He starts recording his Something in the Way She Moves song there.
Yeah.
And he was basically being influenced by George Harrison's song,
Something.
Something. Yeah. And I like to think that the Holy Trinity of that is in Nirvana's Something. Something in the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Holy Trinity.
Holy
Sure.
Trinity of something.
It was
But we can all agree that I picked the best song out of this, right?
No, we're not done yet.
Sorry.
I gotta
That
go.
doesn't work
No.
for me.
I got things to do and people to see.
Reminds me of Vietnam.
The song I picked was Groove is in the Heart by Deee-Lite, released in 1990. And there was a comment on the YouTube page that said, that summed it up. It's like, this song officially rang in the 90s. And I think that's so appropriate because the iconic video that went with it and the song itself just was so 90s. And everything before that was 80s. And yeah, there it is.
there it is.
And it was actually, now that was ripped off of the bass line was ripped off from a Herbie Hancock tune. Here, I'll play that for you.
Oh, shit.
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's blatant rip off. Yeah.
that sounds just like it.
It was just an instrumental that Herbie Hancock had done for a movie. But
Now, did Booty Collins work with Herbie Hancock at all?
oh, maybe.
Because
Perhaps.
I know Bootsy was in the band for a while.
Yeah, well, I know he played on that song. There he is.
There he is. Watch
Yeah.
out.
I love me some Bootsy.
Everybody
And,
loves Bootsy.
And I know Dave thinks I'm gonna give him shit about this particular song. I fucking love this fucking song. I really do. I love this fucking song. And back in the 90s, I was dating this girl. We didn't agree on music at all. She was listening to Salt and Pepper, and I'm listening to Led Zeppelin or Aerosmith or Metallica or God knows what else. And this song came on, and I'm like, this is fucking good too, man. And it was like the one song we could always agree on.
Yep.
Uh,
I didn't love it when it first came out, but I've grown to love it over the last 30 years. So
you can dance to
Go
it.
for anything.
It's fun. It's the chick's kind of hot. You know, hey. And Bootsy
they
Collins.
talk about Horton Hears a Who.
I personally remember hearing it the first time and just being kind of like a little bit like I had one of those moments because I'd never seen anyone really dress like that. And like right around the same time, the Beastie Boys video had come out for "Hey Ladies," and it was like their second from their
Hey,
second
ladies.
and in the video, they're all dressed like 70s too. And I was like, there's no way in hell we're doing like 70s retro now, are we? Like I remember being like so shocked, like who, like if you're gonna do like I thought, like I'd just come out of the 80s, and it did absolutely kick off the 90s, and it was like I was still, wanting to do like like the Duran Duran jackets and the Guess jeans and shit like that. And like I thought, 80s style is like really, really awesome. I look back at it now and I was like, what the fuck were we thinking? Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
On earth were we thinking?
I was wearing denim and leather jackets, man. I don't know what you were thinking.
I wasn't really into metal then. I was more into rap music at the time. But then I kind of drifted away from that when Public Enemy and Anthrax did their song together.
Oh, that was terrible.
That was awesome. I thought that was amazing. I love that. I love that shit. It's like that was
and Aerosmith and
Aerosmith and Run DMC.
Run DMC.
Yep.
I have to say I never really got that into rap, except I really, really did like the Beastie Boys, and I really did like NWA. And I really liked later on, Rage Against the Machine, which you may or may not consider rap. It's not hip hop. It's more like heavy metal rap.
It's influenced by rap for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I guess that song wouldn't really go too well coming out of the 80s if that's what you were expecting. I don't know.
But,
So you could have gone all fanboy about it, though.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, I didn't. I didn't initially. I was a little resistant to it at first. It was like I said, "Oh, this is just too weird."
How do you feel about it now?
I think it's a great song. Looking back at it, I think it's a great song, and that album was really good too. I know that they got sued a lot. Like I remember at the time, like a lot of bands were getting sued because they'd taken samples, and there was always questions about like, this is when sampling was really getting big. So I know the Beastie Boys got sued a million times. That's when Zeppelin came out and was like, "Oh, you guys stole all this music from us," and then everyone kind of turned on Zeppelin and was all like, "Yeah, but you guys kind of did the same thing." So you really can't. It's talking about the pot calling the kettle black.
And then we got Napster, and then Metallica killed Napster.
Yep. But it didn't matter because at that point the
genie was out of the bottle.
Yeah.
So, and that turned out to be pretty cool, actually. It's like, because I can't tell you how many times I spent $14-15 for an album, and there was only one or two really good songs on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like seriously, it's like put some effort in, guys. That was one thing I will give Zeppelin credit for. All their albums delivered. You
can listen to the whole damn album.
Yeah, exactly. There's not one filler where you're like, I don't feel like listening to this song. Their albums were like really, really good.
I wasn't crazy about the crunge on Houses of the Holy.
Hey,
can't find the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Take me to the bridge. Where's the bloody bridge? No, I mean, there are a couple songs where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pass over this one. But generally, if I'm listening to Zeppelin, I just listen to the whole album. You almost have to listen to it in album order. If you don't hear it in the same order that it's on the album, it's kind of distracting.
Right.
No, you don't put on shuffle.
No, not Zeppelin, no.
That would be really, really weird. So, but I mean, those were the days before playlists. I mean, we listen to albums, So. What's your, okay, both guys, I got your favorite album of all time?
Ooh. Repo Man soundtrack.
Okay.
Wow. If we're going to talk about soundtracks.
Why not?
Tony Hawk's Skater 4 has a fucking fantastic soundtrack.
I used to play that with my brother all the time.
Did you really?
We used to build little skate parks in those games. They were insane.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh.
That had a great soundtrack. I think it was 4.
There was a My Chemical Romance song on one of those soundtracks.
Oh, it was.
Oh, they had great,
My favorite band ever.
Great tunes they picked out on there. but just classic albums, I think I'm gonna have to go with Zeppelin 2.
How about you, John?
Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses.
Oh, such a fanboy.
Oh yeah, that's like the best album ever.
It is a great album.
Beginning and that is just, it's
My
just
favorite song from that album, Mr. Brownstone.
yep.
Great tune.
Just like right from the jump, like do 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 do.
I get out around there, you know.
Oh yeah, he did the yeah. Axl Rose was he was something else. So my favorite song off of that was I think it was My Michelle.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I just remember it was because
just can't tell.
my Michelle. Like I just remember maybe it wasn't I don't know, but it's the one I remember the line the line that sticks out in my head is like, your daddy works in porno now that your mama's underground.
I think that's My Michelle.
Yeah,
That's right.
she used to love her heroin. It's like it's so. It was the first like nowadays people like bands talk about their drug use very openly, but it's like it was the first song I'd ever heard where it's like we like to drink, we like to do drugs, we really just don't give a fuck. You know, it's like we're supposed to be on the show at like
Yeah,
o'clock.
that was back in the days when even Aerosmith was like, no, we never did anything.
Well, I heard Aerosmith tried to like calm Axl down a little bit, and the whole band like, dude, you guys are like really need to slow it down a little bit. So, you know, that's really fun. You know, it's bad when Steven Tyler's the one kind of like, hey man, maybe you should take it easy. You know, so that's like Keith Richards saying like, you know, you should quit smoking. You know, probably be a good idea to quit smoking. You know. But
All right, are we done here?
I think this was a successful episode.
I think so too.
I did forget to put up my own graphics for House of the Rising Sun, but that's okay.
We can slip that in editing or something. If you sent it to me.
I did send it.
Yeah. So, dude, I'm pretty psyched that we pulled this off because I didn't think I was gonna make it tonight. I got getting home so late, but I'm so psyched you guys waited for me. Thank you, and I'm really glad we're doing this together. And my only regret is that we haven't been doing this for like 3 years now. You know.
Honestly, I agree with you. Yeah, we should have been doing this all along. In fact, I'm thinking of actually doing a solo one now on the history of songs. I think I might take House of the Rising Sun and do a podcast about the history of the song.
That's awesome.
That sounds cool.
That's really cool. So yeah.
Do it.
Have fun without us, Tony.
Yeah.
Quit.
Tony's already too big for my podcast.
Well, I'll
He'll come back.
I'll step in now and then, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you're gonna have to, man. You're like 30% of the show right now. You know what I mean? So
33.3. No, that doesn't give Melanie any credit at all.
I know. Well, I gave her credit. I put her name down on the. Part of the problem is when it's your girlfriend doing it, it's like you think, oh, it's my girlfriend doing it. You know what I mean? It's like you don't think of it as like. It's like I had to second think about it, and I was like, oh, I better give her credit, recorded and produced by and everything, and then, you know.
Yeah.
I hate to be unappreciative, but yeah.
Props to Mel.
All right, everybody, say goodnight. Do
Good
your
night,
everybody.
One at a time, Dave.
Oh, good night. We'll see you later.
Tell us where you're from. Plug something.
Oh, yeah. Rabid Gorilla. See you later.
There we go. Rabid Gorilla. All right, Coop, you're up.
Buy my special headphones. I have custom-made headphones. Buy them.
The always non sequitur, Tony Shannon. And I'm John from RockBranded. This is my podcast, Tuesday Rehearsals. Thank you all for tuning in. And there goes Luna again, my cat. There's my cat's ass.
We're gonna get you on.
Any better way to sign up with my cat's ass to do it.
Gotta get Bubba on here next time.